that even mean, Bauer's Game Corner?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again today for another game review, another special Kickstarter review. And today I'm very excited to be checking out Billionaire Banshee from Stephen Bailey. This is for 2 to 15 players, ages 13 and up, and it'll take you about 60 minutes to play. And in Billionaire Banshee, you will all pretend that you are single people looking for the love of your life. And before you, you will have very interesting selections on who you potentially date. Your friends are going to be voting on who you might date and saying why or why not you might date someone. Sound intriguing? Let's open it up and see how it plays. Alright, then we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of Billionaire Banshee. As I always like to mention, this is the promotional copy I have in front of you. What you see may very well change in the future. Obviously, the rule booklet's going to be more fleshed out, and I know for a fact you're going to have way more cards than what's in front of you. First and foremost, we have our handy-dandy rule sheet, which is a half-page, very, very simple game to learn and to teach, which is always a big thumbs up. He didn't screw up this 2 paragraphs, which I've seen some people do before. So next, we're going to go over the gameplay and what you're going to get inside the game. So in this game, you are going to play someone who's single, who is trying to find love. In order to find love, you're going to flip over 1 QUIRK card, 1 PERK card, then everyone's going to vote whether or not they think you would approve or you date or deny that person. If they get it right, then they get a point. If they get it wrong, well, they don't get a point. Very simple game. So, let's go over the different kind of cards in the game, because there are 4 kinds of cards in the game. First, you're going to have your date and deny cards. Each person is going to have one of these cards. They look the same on the back. One of each of these cards. And once someone has read off their quirk and the perk, they're going to secretly put one face down in front of them, and then once that person, once everyone's voted, they're going to reveal it at the same time. They'll say, oh, I thought you would date them because blah, 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 and you would say, I thought you would date that person because of this or because of that, or you'd say, I thought you would deny that person because they are homeless, whatever. So those are the date and deny cards. Those are just your voting cards that will gain you points. Next, you're going to have your quirk and your perk cards. So essentially, the perk ones are normally going to be good things that this person has going for them, and the quirks sometimes will be bad and sometimes will be good. It's a really, really random bag. So, next I want to point out there are 3 different kinds of quirks and 3 different kinds of perks, as you can see. First, you have the unicorn. This is going to be more fantasy-based stuff, more stuff that probably wouldn't happen, so they are a robot. Obviously, in real life, this is probably not going to happen. Now, there's also a lot of flavor text on the bottom that will go more in-depth about this robot, so they're charged by 1 hour of sunlight. They look and act 100% human. They are waterproof and self-repair. They have functioning genitals, which is always a big plus, and they can't get viruses. So that's great. But as you can see, they have some nice flavor text going on the bottom that will get you a little bit more into the game. So that is the unicorn. It's going to be fantasy-based. Next, over here, we're going to have more reality-based stuff, like this little IT guy right here. So this one is, well, their body is covered in fur. That's unfortunate. But, you know, that can actually happen. I've actually seen quite a few women who date guys who are just completely covered in fur. So that would be one of the quirks. Now, the one in the middle is going to be the S&M bear. These are the ones that I like personally the best because I'm a dirty, dirty boy. But these are going to be more on the sexual side of things. So let's flip this one over. One quirk that this person has is, well, they randomly are going to cheat on you. And it doesn't tell you with whom. It doesn't get disease, so that's good. They're not going to be covered in STDs or whatnot. They still have sex with you, which is definitely always a perk, and no one gets pregnant as a result, which is always a good thing. But as you can tell, that's definitely more on the risque side of the game if you want to play the risque side. One thing I want to mention is that you can always just take out those cards if you're playing with someone who is younger or someone that you really don't want to talk about those kind of things with. So now, let's get down to the gameplay, because the gameplay is very, very simple. Everyone's going to have their date and deny card. Then one person is going to read off 1 quirk and 1 perk. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So the quirk is they have random mid-sleep diarrhea. Wow, that's a deal breaker. Actually, I did that wrong. You're supposed to read off the perk first, excuse me. So the perk is they own a private island made of chocolate. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. But the quirk is, as you guys just read, they have random mid-sleep diarrhea. So then you can read off the bottoms of the card, which I'm not going to do. But then everyone is going to go around the board and they are going to lay down their cards secretly, whether they think that person would date or deny this person who has an island made of chocolate, but they also make your bed an island of chocolate. So they would do that secretly, and then they would reveal their cards and say, oh, I thought you would date this person because blah, blah, blah. I thought you would deny this person because of blah, blah, blah. And then that person would reveal and say, oh, I actually would date this person because I love scat, or whatever. And then these cards would get discarded. Everyone who was correct would gain 1 point. Everyone who was wrong would not gain 1 point. And then the judge, or the lover who's trying to find the love of their life, would then reveal another quirk and another perk, and you would go around and do the same thing over and over again until you reach a certain amount of points. Now, there's one more thing that I did not mention that you can do if you need to gain a lot of points. Now, you're supposed to read the perk first. So this one says they can grow or shrink to any size. Now, you can gamble, essentially. For 2 points, you can put out your card right then and there once the perk has been revealed and say, all right, I think this is going to happen. I'm gambling. But if you are wrong, you are going to lose a point. So it's a nice little catch-up method if you're behind on points that can really add a little gambling aspect to the game. But that, in a nutshell, is how you play Billionaire Banshee. Alrighty then, Billionaire Banshee from Stephen Bailey. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, the game is not going to be for everyone because, well, it is a light party game. If you're looking for a Euro game or a deep strategy game, look elsewhere because this is just a pure, light, fun party game. Also, this might also be something that changes in the final version, but it was really kind of hard to read the front where it said Quirk and PERK for some people in my game group. I personally didn't have this problem, but I came over 3 people that complained about the text that was used in the game, so take that for what you will. I'm really kind of stretching here on the cons, because moving on to the pros, I really enjoyed Billionaire Banshee. It was a lot of fun. I actually ended up getting the game, and I got home, and my wife was making dinner for me and my son, and I was opening the package, and I was like, oh, what is this? Wow, the rule booklet is ridiculously short. And I was like, hey, you want to play this with me? And she's like, okay. And we played at the table, and we had a blast just with 2 players. So needless to say, once I bursted it out at game night, they had a lot of fun with this game. There was just non-stop laughter. It's a fantastic game. If you're looking for a light party game, let's just get this out of the way. Go back this game. My only complaint is I only got like 50 cards, and I want more cards. I want more cards! But you guys are going to get like 200 cards when it gets to you, so that won't be a problem for you guys. Billionaire Banshee is a fantastic game. We had a lot of fun with it. I love the artwork. I love how the game works. I love the theme of the game. I love the humor in the game. I really enjoyed Billionaire Banshee, and once it gets released, I really hope I can get a copy and put it on my shelf because I have a feeling that we will be playing it a lot of the time, especially when we are drinking. Very fun game. Cannot recommend it enough. And one last thing that I want to mention on the gameplay of the game that I really did like was the idea that you could take out cards based on who you were playing with. This was really, really cool. Because when I got the game, I was like, how is this practical at all? That these are both quirk cards, but they have different backgrounds. And then once I watched the Kickstarter video, I realized that it was ingenious. You could take them out if you're playing with Grandma, so you don't have to talk with Grandma about butt stuff. Fantastic! Unless your grandma's into that, you know. I'm not judging. I met some grandmas like that. Oh man, I met some grandmas like that. Sorry, focus. Anyway, Billionaire Banshee, be sure to check it out on Kickstarter right now on the link below. Fantastic game. They're doing fantastic. They're like 17,000 to 20 that they need. Let's help push them over. If you do end up funding or backing it, tell them Bowers Game Corner sent you. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for your time, YouTube.
Go ahead.
That was the review for Billionaire Banshee. For more reviews and previews, check back at Bowers Game Corner. Also, be sure to check out Colt 45. It tastes like crap, but man, does it get you drunk.